Hello, a very good evening to you and welcome to the first evening session of the 2018 Betfred World Snooker Championship from the Crucible Theatre here in Sheffield, one of the great sporting venues. Tonight we'll see the conclusion of the first round match between world number one Mark Selby and Joe Perry. As is the tradition here at the Crucible Theatre, the defending champion gets things underway in the morning, and it hasn't gone to plan for Mark Selby.
Always great to see the opening shot in the World Championship, and it's the defending champion who's going to get this match underway. It should be a cracker.
That's excellent. Great shot.
He takes the opening frame and leads Mark Selby 1-0.
Held his nerve and leads the defending champion Mark Selby by 2 frames to 0.
Wow, what was that? An unbelievable scoreline, it has to be said. The defending champion yet to get a frame on the board. Joe Perry leads 4 frames to 0. Who would have thought it?
Good shot. And he gets another frame on the board. The comeback continues.
That was an important visit for Joe Perry. He's back on track and now leads the defending champion by 5 frames to 2. Ton up for Joe Perry. What a performance from gentleman Joe Perry. He leads the defending champion Mark Selby by the scoreline of 7 frames to 2. The world champion's got a lot to do this evening.
He certainly has an awful lot to do. Let's talk to Steve Davis, who's alongside me. Steve, a very good evening to you. Mark Selby has it all to do tonight. Could you believe what you were seeing this morning?
Well, we could always believe what happens on the snooker table if you don't get off the ground fast enough. And he was caught cold. He looked a bit lacklustre. But I think perhaps Joe Perry had 3 qualifying matches and all of a sudden looked the sharper of the 2. You expected a bit of a fight back, but Joe Perry was up to the job. 7-2 is a massive scoreline to overcome. Mark Selby has on many occasions done some monumental recoveries in the World Championship, but on day one, when he's been caught cold, and it's not like the tournament's even started, it's going to be a tough one.
Mark is coming into the Crucible with a bit of confidence, having won the China Open, has had this neck injury, but he has to create a little bit of history tonight because no defending champion has had to haul it back from this deficit.
Yeah, and any confidence he got from the China Open would have been evaporated now because he's just got to come out, try and play to a better standard, just try and play the balls as they come along. But you also need some help from Joe Perry. He needs Joe Perry to balk at the finishing line. And so far, Joe Perry's shown he's been strong.
We are going to talk about Ronnie O'Sullivan in just a moment, because just take a look at this, because it's not just Mark Selby who's having a tough time on day one, but the Rocket also has big problems. 6-3 behind against Stephen Maguire after their first session. Like Selby, lost the opening 4 frames against his Scottish opponent, compiling a high break of just 27, had a 3-frame burst in 17 minutes after the mid-session, including back-to-back centuries, allowing O'Sullivan to pull within 1. But Maguire then took the next 2. He has a 3-frame advantage, and they play to a finish from 10 o'clock tomorrow, and that is live on BBC Two. That's our first show tomorrow. So let's bring you right up today. Joe Perry needing just 3 frames to book his place in the second round. Louis is in front against Marco Fu. He leads 6-3 after their first session. Matthew Stevens, a finalist in 2000 and 2005, 7-2 down against Kyron Wilson. And there, Stephen Maguire, 6-3 up against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Steve, can you believe this? Here we are, day one. Possibly day 2, we could lose Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, and I thought that one of those players was probably going to win the event. I mean, it's not you never know what's going to happen. Every individual session at snooker can change. It's much more achievable for Ronnie O'Sullivan 6-3 behind than 7-2. It seems like there's a big difference in that. It's only 1 frame at the end of the session. But Ronnie O'Sullivan, as we know, can blast off frames. But I worry for a bit for Mark Selby because that's a tough one to overhaul.
OK, so I know it's day 1, and I know I'm asking you to do this very early on, and we've got a long way to go. But are we going to look at a World Championship where we've lost Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan after just 2 days, Steve?
Very possible, and I think because of the qualifying section where the players play 3 matches to get here, they are very, very sharp. The question mark may be how many of the top seeds are going to get bundled out in the first round. That best of 19 seems quite short if it goes wrong.
Just take a look at these pictures. He looks very apprehensive, doesn't he, Mark Selby, standing there?
Yeah, I would think in a way probably there's less chance that he will be on tenterhooks now. I think he knows the job in hand. He'd probably be a bit calmer tonight, and he's just going to go out and play, trying to make it hard for Joe Perry to get over the winning line. So you'd expect him to grind away tonight. But if anybody can, this guy can, because he's got great resolve.
He's looking up to the skies thinking, are they going to stop chatting? Can I get out there and do the job?
I think so, yes.
Here we go then. Let's join Rob Walker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the climax of day 1 here at the Betfred World Snooker Championship. By the end of tonight, we'll know the identity of the first player through to the last 16. Top quality drama right from the very start, once again, here in Sheffield. Please welcome, first of all, a player who has enjoyed his finest moments here at the Crucible. 3 times a World Championship finalist, took the big one in 06. Runner-up in this season's German Masters and in fine fettle at the qualifiers. He is Scotland's pocket dynamo, Graham Dott. And his opponent, returning for a 16th Crucible campaign, twice a runner-up in 08 and 2012, winner of 4 ranking event titles, including the German Masters and the Welsh Open. Here comes the captain, Ali Carter. And on table 1, please welcome back a player who drew on all those years of Crucible experience to produce a brilliant start against the defending champion this morning. Former Players' Championship winner and World Championship semi-finalist in 08. Bidding for a 9th appearance in the second round. From Cambridge, here comes the gentleman, Joe Perry. And his opponent, a player whose mental strength is one of his greatest assets, both on and off the snooker table. Winner of 3 of the last 4 world titles, and he will be ready to show all that class tonight. Winner of this month's China Open, he is, of course, the current world #1 and the defending world champion. He is the jester from Leicester, Mark Selby.
So what a second session we have in prospect. This is our live match on BBC Two. Mark Selby against Joe Perry. If you want table 2, Ali Carter taking on Graham Dott. That's available on the red button, the BBC Sport app, and also available online. But now it's all about Mark Selby and Joe Perry in the company of Stephen Hendry. And good evening, Dennis Taylor.